The thing that is so terrible about social media is that your intentions or your motives are never ever considered.
It was brutal.
It just felt like the world was caving in. I'm fully an adult, and like this online hate was affecting me so much. There's literally kids on these platforms.
People were tagging us on their stories. People were DMing us. We got some very aggressive DMs.
Dude, we got death threats.
Hey, before we get started, make sure that you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whichever platform you listen on. It really means a lot. And let's get on with the episode.
What's up, dudes?
And welcome back to episode 7 of the Unplanned podcast.
Here we are.
I cannot believe we're here, dude.
I know, it's literally so weird. It still doesn't feel normal to sit here and do this, like, especially for this episode. Like, my heart is honestly beating really fast.
We are going to talk about something that we've never talked about before openly on social media. And that is getting
canceled.
canceled.
We've avoided it like the plague.
Yeah, I mean, getting canceled is not fun. It's every creator's worst nightmare.
Why am I already about to cry?
And I think like...
I think I have so many emotions built up to like talking about this because it's like scary to talk about.
Yeah.
And also you don't want people to be thinking that we're asking for like a pity party.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not. I feel really grateful for this job and like the many blessings it's had for like our family, but... this is just part of it that is, it's like the dark cloud that's always looming, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's honestly for creators it's not an if, it's a when you get canceled, because when you're online and when anybody and everybody can pick apart your life and find flaws in you and
well, not even your life, anything that you put online, like freaking Miss Rachel had to take a break because she was getting heat.
I don't understand that, dude.
I don't even know what the controversy was really about, but it's just like, that just shows that if Miss Rachel, someone as wholesome and pure, literally making baby videos,
but how to say mama and dada.
Yeah. Like, that just shows that no one is immune to this.
Yes.
But it's so hard to talk about.
Yeah, it is. It's weird. It's scary because on a podcast, like, we talk so openly and so authentically about our lives. So it's kind of scary, but at the same time, like, I feel safe talking about it here because people are listening to an hour-long episode and they're not just like taking bits and pieces of what we say and take them out of context, you know? So
yeah,
that's what's really reassuring about a podcast.
Maybe this will be good for me to kind of finally talk about everything. I mean, because it's happened more than once.
Yeah.
This whole getting canceled online. And I feel like it's been sprinkled with lots of mini cancellations, you know. I think there's something different, though, between getting negative comments and then, like, widespread cancellation.
Massive difference. Because everyone gets hate comments, and hate comments suck. But, like, I will say I laugh about most of the hate comments that we get because you kind of become immune to it. But like canceling is different because they're taking like one specific thing and it's like a mob mentality of like thousands, if not millions of people coming at you and just really trying to rip you to shreds, and it's horrible.
I think there's 2 major instances online where we have gotten officially canceled.
So we got canceled in 2021 and 2022. Let's start with 2021. What happened? I mean, should we begin with just, I guess, our move to Hawaii?
This is the one that is, oh my gosh.
Oh, it's okay.
This is the one that is like hard to talk about because of just like the fear that it caused in me. Like, it's really unresolved still, honestly.
Yeah.
The fact that like just mentioning it is making me cry. And like, even when we talk about it with like close friends and like trusted friends, like I'm literally fighting tears the whole time because I don't know, it feels like a traumatic event, even though it's so weird because it's all on your phone. Like, nothing in real life actually happened. It's such a weird thing to sort through because it's literally all on your phone.
Yeah.
So, I'm also pregnant, so can we just excuse the tears? So
we moved to Hawaii in 2021, and for those of you guys that don't know, Hawaii became a state in, I believe, the 50s. It was illegally taken by the U.S. in the early 1900s, and so because of that, there's some very, very fresh wounds in Hawaii. People are very protective of Hawaii, and rightfully so. It's a very special place, and there's people that are native to that land that really care about that land. And it's just you gotta be really careful and really respectful, especially if you travel to Hawaii. You don't want to just like go around. I don't know. You got to be careful. You want to be very respectful, just as if you're visiting another country. It's almost like a different country in a way.
Well, yeah, as if you're visiting anywhere. You just need to be respectful of the culture that's there. And there's some very sensitive history, like you said, behind Hawaii. And we moved there, and we honestly didn't move there not knowing that. Like,
Yeah.
I did a whole huge college project my last semester about the history of Hawaii and
Yeah.
how it became a state and how it was, I mean, like you said, taken illegally.
Yes.
And a lot of people were hurt by that. And
Well, I'm a history nerd, so like I did a ton of research too, and it's heartbreaking to hear about a place that was taken illegally, especially by the U.S. When like, look, I love our country, but like that's one of those dark sides of American history where you're like, that should not have happened, you know? It's really sad. So we went in knowing like, okay, as content creators, we're not going to share locations of hikes. We're not going to be giving out all this information. That
the reason of not sharing locations of hikes is because then the hikes become extremely over trafficked and it hurts the land.
And it kind of ruins it for everyone, and that really hurts locals. So yeah, we came in with we really talked to a lot of people that live there. I feel like we were very well informed, but there was one thing that completely slipped our minds that ended up coming back to bite us in the butt.
Well, let's just say like we came in not ignorant.
Yeah.
But obviously we were new there. And so it's really a time to just listen and learn.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we were trying to do. It's very hard doing that under the public eye. And we weren't like, we had a following then because we were doing this full time.
Yeah, we did.
But it wasn't like, I mean, with every stage and that it's grown, like the stakes become higher. So the stakes weren't as high at this point.
Yeah.
But basically back then, if you have followed us from this point, like that's pretty incredible. But then we would make the intro of all of our YouTube videos. We would say, "What's up, dudes?" But then when we moved to Hawaii,
can we get backstory on that though? What's up, dudes originated because I call Abby dude. I actually see comments all the time, people that are like, why is this guy calling his wife dude? That's so weird. He would never say that. But I just do. I don't know. We're best friends and I call her dude. And so people thought that was hilarious on TikTok. There were some viral videos where people in the comments thought it was funny that I was calling my wife dude. And so we just started calling our followers dudes. We just started all of our videos with what's up, dudes. And moving to Hawaii, you go into any store in Hawaii, you see aloha like all over the place. Everyone says aloha to you if you're a tourist. Like it's just, it's a very special word in the Hawaiian language, and it means hello, it means goodbye, it means so many different things. And so naturally we're like, we should start saying aloha, dudes, to open up all of our YouTube videos.
Well, we were greeted at the airport upon landing, moving in Hawaii, like it says aloha, like welcome to Oahu, and like all these things. And even on the mainland of the US, like you go into Hobby Lobby, you go into Target, you go into Walmart, you see aloha everywhere. It has kind of become universal in a way as like a greeting. But the word aloha, well, let's just keep going.
I mean, it's a very special word in the Hawaiian language. And so like you see it literally everywhere. It was kind of sad because the language almost completely disappeared at one point. And luckily there was I believe a radio station that really started the movement of getting the language back. And that's why when you go to Hawaii, you see a lot of things in Hawaiian because they're trying to bring back the language in a very strong way. So it's cool. There's a lot of people that name their kids now with Hawaiian names because back in the day, it was kind of like a no-no, I want to say, because they were trying to westernize the people there. But
Western culture kind of dominated Hawaii, and it still is a recurring thing that's happening.
Anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there. But anyway, the Hawaiian language, it's, a beautiful language, and we just started using the word aloha in our videos.
Yes. And then several months, this was like 5 or 6 months into living in Hawaii, right?
Dude, yeah, so we moved there in January, and then it was May that we decided to do merch.
Yes. And let me preface merch by saying that I feel like very few creators use merch as like a big way to, maybe some do, to make money.
I think in the early stages of like YouTube, because there weren't brand deals to help pay the bills, like creators would
rely on merch
to pay the bills. But I think more recently, merch is more of a community building.
Yeah, at least that was our motive. This was just a fun way to like build out our community. Like, I don't know, have everyone feel like a part of something and we can share it and wear the same thing. And it was really just a fun project.
Yeah.
It was never like a money grab or anything like that. We weren't gonna make it big off of merch sales.
Yeah.
And in fact, we were just doing this in house too. Like it was a small operation. Like your brother and my sister-in-law and our
It was,
sister-in-law were doing it.
it was kind of scary because like for the first time we wanted to try and do this thing where we bought all the product ourselves. We spent thousands of dollars on our own money, cash, just on this merch, and it was scary because we're like, okay, like now it's not like we're working with some t-shirt company. Like this is us, and hopefully we don't like lose money on this, right?
All
So
that to say, it was still a fairly small operation.
yeah, yeah,
And so on the shirts, because we'd started all of our merch before had just said dude. We'd always introduce with what's up dudes. So these shirts now said aloha dudes on
Yeah.
the corner of them. And we made the logo, everything. It was very exciting. We had a photo shoot
yeah.
with a local photographer.
Showed our friends in Hawaii. Nobody thought anything of it. It was just like, oh, that merch looks so sick. Like I love it. I love that vibe. You know,
And
really
then
cute.
it comes the day of launch. And I feel like the day of launch went really well. Because
Yeah.
it was mostly our followers that saw. And they were just,
Yes.
not like it was like sales were flowing in. But they were just excited about it. They really liked it. There was positive feedback. They're like, this is so cute. Like, I don't know. They like loved the design, whatever. Then the following days, I don't remember exactly when it started to.
I just saw like one DM of someone who was upset that we had made that merch, and I just kind of ignored it. It's like, you know, when you get hate, you just, okay, push it off. Like, just ignore it. Don't let it like pull you down. But then like the next day goes by, and I think I saw like 2 DMs.
Yeah.
And then another day goes by, and then it's like 4 DMs, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of odd.
I would say it took until like day 5 where.
Yeah.
It got really crazy.
Yeah.
So there were, what's crazy is that the hate was pretty much isolated to Instagram,
Yeah.
which is not common. I feel like hate is usually the worst on TikTok.
Well, we were actually very fortunate because when people get canceled, oftentimes it's across
All
social media
platforms.
platforms, and TikTok is the worst. It can be brutal. And so it was really isolated on Instagram because that's where we were promoting the merch. We had pictures of the merch up. And we really like I didn't see a single negative or mean comment on TikTok or YouTube, but it was all on Instagram that we saw.
I mean, I would
backlash.
never use the word lucky, but it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
basically, these like hate pages is really what it was.
Yeah.
Were bringing all this hate, telling this narrative that we were, you know,
Exploiting
the Hawaiian language.
Yeah, and exploiting the culture, and that our merch was like this way of trying to monetize off of Hawaiian culture, and that was like
Never our intentions.
never, and it just like completely broke my heart that someone could even think that, you know, that we were coming in here trying to just like make money off of the Hawaiian culture.
Yes. And that's not to say that I don't understand like where they were coming from, but the thing that is so terrible about social media is that your intentions or your motives are never ever considered.
Yep.
Like if it was pretty clear to see from us that we had no ill intent in
Yeah.
creating this, and that just doesn't come into factor
Yeah.
at all. And so the hate was flooding in, and it was
Brutal.
it was so scary, honestly.
People were tagging us on their stories. People were DMing us. We got some very aggressive DMs, especially.
Dude, we got death threats. Like,
I wouldn't know if I would go as far as
oh,
to say.
yes, we did. People were telling us, they were saying they drove past our house. They said, we'll show you what we do with people like they called us haoles.
Yeah.
Which is just a derogatory term
For
for
white person.
or outsider in Hawaiian. We'll show you how we treat you guys. Like, you need to go to the mother effing place that you came from. Like,
Yeah, go back to where you came from, Howley.
whatever
Yeah.
hole you crawled out of. Like, the hate was crazy. It was videos, it was DMs, it was comments,
Yeah.
it was stories, it was the magnitude
Yeah.
of the anger coming from these people was so scary.
Yeah, it was really scary.
We would go out in public, and that's the thing. It's such a small community out there that we would go out in public and
People knew.
people knew.
Yeah.
And I remember, I will never forget, we went to the gym and we knew a lot of people at the gym, but it was literally like we had a scarlet letter. Like, it was
Yeah.
like, who knows? And
Yeah.
who is so mad at us? Who is like not going to associate with us ever again
Yeah.
because we're like a threat to their brand or to who they are? Is like, I will never forget the looks we got when we walked into the gym that
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
I was terrified to go to the grocery store. I remember you left the house to do something.
I went to the grocery store.
Oh, you went to the grocery
and I
store.
was so thankful at the time that it was like the mask era. Like I had my face mask on, and I was like, gosh, I hope no one recognizes me here at the grocery
And
store.
I was terrified because I was home alone, and I had read
Yeah.
messages that said that they had driven by our house.
Yeah.
And this house was not secure.
No.
I mean, there was no AC. The windows were always open.
Yeah.
You could easily break down that door. Like, I was terrified.
It's freaky when people are like, I know where you live. I want to show you what I do to you, effing. Yeah, the insert derogatory word. You know,
I mean, the messages were out of this world, and it felt like, that's the crazy thing about online hate, is that like almost none of our followers knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But it still felt like everyone in the world hated us.
Yeah.
And like we had done something that was, it felt like we had committed the ultimate offense.
Do you know what like really scared me, Abby? Which we can cut this out if this is something that you think is too personal, but I remember it was so traumatizing. It was really hard on both of us, obviously.
Yeah.
But like I was just trying to figure out how to respond. Like I was like, we need to make an apology. Like we need to let people know this was not our intention. And so we did that. But like remember at that time it was so traumatic. Like I remember you did some self-harm. Like it wasn't like not cutting yourself, but I think I don't know if you were hitting yourself in the head or
I just like
what it was.
wanted it all to stop. Like it was so bad.
But I had never seen you get to that dark of a place. And that was really scary. And I remember like going up to you and just like hugging you so that you couldn't do anything to hurt yourself, because
it just felt like the world was caving in. Like it's so weird how like I'm fully an adult.
Yeah.
And like this online hate was affecting me so much. And like there's literally teenagers, there's kids on these platforms.
Yeah.
And that makes me never want Griffin or any of our other children to ever have their own social media platform, because I couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
And I was an adult and I knew my character and I knew who I was. But to feel that, I felt so vulnerable. I felt so misunderstood, because that was never, ever, ever my intentions. That was never anything I'd want to do. And whether or not people think that what we did was wrong or wasn't, it was certain. I think it was abundantly clear that we would never do that. If anyone actually knew this, we would never do.
We had no intention of hurting anybody.
Yeah. And I just felt like there was no way to solve it, and there was no way out of it, and everyone knew. It was weird because I lost my perspective.
Yeah.
And it was really, really a dark time and really scary, to the point where we had already made arrangements to be off the island.
Yeah.
Shortly after that, but if we hadn't, we would have booked a flight.
Oh yeah,
because it was so scary.
Fortunately, we did have a flight booked for like, I don't know, like a day and a half later to fly out to go be with family. And yeah, that was definitely good, because then we were off the island for about a month, and things did settle down while we were gone, but it was really,
Wasn't
really
it
scary.
so weird when we landed on the mainland and it felt like
we were safe.
Yeah, it felt like we were safe.
Yeah.
And you know, I think we've talked about this before, but like before that cancellation, it's crazy how it totally flipped my perspective of living there, because before we were even considering maybe settling down for multiple years there.
Well, you told me you wanted to stay for about 5 years.
Yeah,
because I really liked it. Like I loved the culture. I loved all the friends that we made. I loved getting to surf and go on hikes, and you're just so active there and healthy. Like I really liked that, and I loved how simple our life was there. People don't value possessions as much because everything's so freaking expensive in Hawaii that you just don't have a lot, and you just recognize that you don't need a lot to live a happy life. You can just be active and be in nature, and there's so much beauty in that. But I remember that all happened, and we didn't go get counseling. Like we should have gone to a counselor, and we didn't. I remember like our family, like we saw them, and I don't know, like I don't think anybody knew how big that was, like how
our
much it
family was
affected.
scared for us.
But I don't think even our families realized like how much that affected us. Like we should have definitely gone to see counseling. Like honestly, we still should go to counseling.
Well,
for
okay.
That.
What I was saying though is about how it switched my perspective on living there, is that like from wanting to be there to up to 5 years, I was like, I I can't be here another month.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt so incredibly unwelcomed and
Yeah.
so, like, I mean, you don't need, how many people do you need messaging you, like, go back to where you came from, we don't want you here, like,
Yeah.
before you're like, okay, I'll leave.
And name calling too. Like,
And-
I'd never been called names before like that.
Oh, awful.
Like
The most awful things you can, and then they were digging up things from our past and just being incredibly, it got off subject completely, and it was
Yeah.
just like, whatever we can do to
trying to-
torment these people, like, let's do it.
Any bit of dirt they could find on us from the past. I remember
Well,
seeing
that's
like
what canceling
accounts-
is, you know.
But it's crazy though, because like, even if I don't know, it's crazy how big and nasty it can get when people, I think, like, people that are, I don't know, going through something maybe in their life to where they're in a really dark place and they take it out on you. Like, you become a target, and it's like, oh, I need to take out all my anger and pain on this person because they're the reason I'm feeling this way. And then you just become,
I don't even think people realize why they're doing it.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
And I think I hear a lot of people say all the time, like, I mean, it just makes me feel better, or not making me feel better. It's like, or I can just, like, you know, have peace knowing that they're probably just living a miserable life, and that's why they do it.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me feel like, okay, I don't want them to be miserable, and I certainly don't want them making anyone else miserable. Like, I don't know. I don't want anyone to be miserable.
So we get canceled, and like Abby said, this wasn't, selling merch was not some, like, I don't know, big business move for us.
No.
Like, it wasn't about the money. So we literally were
Which
like,
is what so many people were. That was the
Exactly.
narrative that was being
Exactly.
told. We
And
were
so-
profiting off of this.
So yeah, we donated all profit to a local Hawaiian charity that helps support teaching the Hawaiian language to kids.
It's in preschools.
Which is
It's
actually
really
really
sweet.
cool. Which
Yes.
is really, really cool. I believe it's called Aha Punana Leo.
Leo, yeah.
I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but we donated to that organization, and so that was
Everything.
cool. And I'm really glad that we were able to do that.
That is
So,
like probably the best thing that came out of it.
yeah.
Basically, from that point on, like, we tried to put on whatever filters you can put on social medias, and it wasn't working.
Well, though that's the thing, like, none of the filters we put on Instagram worked. Like, we had it.
It
so
made people more mad.
Yeah, people got really mad, and
They got more creative.
There was professional surfers that were like posting about us, and like I had heard. I don't even want to get into it, but like it just
People
got
that you
nasty.
had looked up to
People that I looked
since
up
you
to.
were a child,
Yeah.
making mockery of you online, and
Yeah.
that just makes me so hurt to know
Yeah.
that, like, you've looked up to him since you were to these people as a role model for years,
Yeah.
and then for them to know nothing about you yet put you in a negative way on their platform, that's massive.
Yeah, I never saw
This-
it, but I was told by friends that there was a really, really well-known professional surfer that like posted about it, just making fun of me, and that really hurt. That because it was like, that was, I don't know, like I never would do anything intentionally to hurt somebody, and so like that made me feel awful, and I was just like, I was so. Yeah, there was a night, I remember there was one night we had gotten back to the mainland, and I just like, I lashed out. I was just like so frustrated by the whole situation, and I just didn't even know, like, I didn't even know what to do.
Well, I honestly want to say, like, shame on that person for using their platform to bring other people down. And that's something you will never, mark my words, at least intentionally, you will never catch us. Actually,
Yeah.
no, I can promise that I don't think there's any one-off circumstance where this could even happen.
Yeah.
You will never see us use our platform to hurt or bring anybody else down,
Yeah.
only to uplift others, because what is the freaking point?
Yeah,
Other than to stroke your own ego is really what it comes down to.
yeah,
And that's why, honestly, when I see other people or other creators or other celebrities getting heat online, it makes me want to come to their defense
Oh,
no
yeah.
matter what happened, because the crime never fits the punishment on social media.
never.
Ever, never, ever, ever. Like, someone will do, heck, like, can we just talk about the lash controversy?
Oh my gosh, Michaela on TikTok.
Like, and
Yeah.
there were so many other influencers. This is what made me so agitated.
Yeah.
Other creators that know darn well what it feels like to get,
Hate.
like,
Yeah.
just unfair hate. Do I think it's right to lie? No, it's
Yes.
not okay to lie. But do I also think it's right to defame someone completely for something, making a mistake?
Mascara. It's literally mascara.
Like, if you don't know what happened, there was a controversy with this TikTok creator that she said she was using a mascara. There was speculation that she, in fact, was using false lashes.
Yes.
And they weren't her real lashes with the
Yeah.
mascara on them. Anyway, multiple massive creators and many other smaller ones made videos just scrutinizing her character
Well, yeah,
and her entire platform.
They saw an opportunity. They saw people getting so mad at this creator. They're like, oh, I can get viewership off of this. If I make a video bashing this creator, then I will get views. I will get clout. I can get more followers. I can get more money. Let's drive this. Let's dig this creator's grave, right?
Well,
like, why not?
What they were doing in turn was saying, she can't be trusted. Probably other people can't be trusted, but I can be trusted.
Yeah.
And I just think that's incredibly manipulative to your audience.
Yeah.
And there's multiple other people on the platform that you can trust. Like trying to create some type of monarchy on your page.
Like you're being honest, but I'm pointing fingers. Everybody else is a liar out here, but me, oh no, I'm completely truthful all the time. Like really? Okay, are we really gonna go there?
Well, beyond that, it's just like don't put distrust in other people's minds on other. I don't know. It's just ugly, and it gets so incredibly ugly.
Yeah. But social media can be a dog eat dog type of world.
Yeah.
Where people just jump on other people's downfall for some views. It's sad.
It's very scary, honestly. And I don't know if I can think of another career that is similar in that way.
Yeah. I mean, I think about politics where people dig up the most dirty things about other politicians. I hate politics, dude. But like,
Remember that ad that was going in Arizona?
Oh my gosh. When there's political campaigns bashing on other people's political campaigns, like it bugs me when all your best foot forward is just to bash the other candidate.
Like, can't you just talk about something that you would do to better the state rather than just like be like, this is why you can't trust them, this person's dangerous, here's this person's nudes from when they were like 18.
But the thing is, it like all that works, and when you can defame somebody, it can help you win, and that's why people do it. That's why people on social media do it. It works.
Heck, I'll admit it. Why is it actually entertaining
to know about
some capacity to know about dirt or to see somebody have some type of fall?
Yeah.
It's just like the movies, you know? It's like it's conflict, so it's exciting.
Yeah.
In a way. But I think I have this new perspective now being on the other side of it where I'm just like all I can feel is just bad when something like that, like I just want them to know that there are people who love them, there are people that will forgive them. There's no forgiveness online. In cancel culture, it's like you've messed up, you're done. But I mean, how unrealistic is that?
Yeah,
everyone's made mistakes.
Yeah,
every single day.
And it's so interesting that it's all about the story that gets picked up. It's like what's the narrative that everyone believes, and that just becomes reality. That just becomes truth. And it's like, what is truth? What is the actual story? Do we even know? Like, what's the other side of the story? When you hear about these people getting canceled, like I really want to know all the facts and all the details, because oftentimes
you never get the full story.
You don't get the full story.
And here's the thing, heaven forbid that person try to defend their character.
Yeah.
Because that will just get chewed up and spit out, and that's kind of the position we were in. Not that I even felt any desire to defend myself. I felt honestly hopeless and weak, and I just felt like the words had been ripped out of my mouth, and everyone already had established what they thought about me and what they thought about me as a person. So I didn't want to talk, you know, but we did like apologize to those that we had hurt and affected, and then donated the money and then moved on.
Yeah, and ultimately that whole situation is really why we moved out of Hawaii.
Oh,
honestly.
Certainly.
We did not feel welcome after that, and it really did ruin it for us. So I mean, if that was people's goal to get us to leave, I mean, it actually worked.
That was their goal, and it worked, and they won.
Yeah. Which is sad. Like, you don't want to like let haters win. I don't like that. I don't like letting haters win, but for us, I think especially you too. I think I was able to get over it after a couple months. It was extremely hurtful.
So weird, because like I don't think that people's negative people's thoughts on me really affect me normally. Because like I said, I am an adult. I know who I am, and I have trusted people in my inner circle that I fully trust to correct me when things are wrong and just, you know, encourage. Like, I trust that, and I don't need the influence of strangers online.
Yeah.
Yet something about that situation, like, literally changed my, like, internal chemistry in a way. Yeah. Like, it is incredibly traumatic to look back at that time, like, for some reason. And honestly, I probably need therapy.
Yeah.
But, like, it was It's so silly too because it's literally an app online. I don't understand how it had such a grip on me and how it still does. Um, that was such a lonely time because no one really knew what it felt like other than you,
Yeah.
and you were hurting and I was hurting. And then people, our friends from, we had just moved there. So we didn't have like I was already struggling because we were lacking community there. And then the small community that we did have, I mean, I obviously understand, but there was no one really reaching out at that time.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't know.
There was a little bit. Like, we did have like a few people reach out, but it wasn't like everyone that we knew who, I mean, like, everyone knew about it. So it wasn't like all of our friends were like just checking in on us. That really didn't happen. And look, like, it wasn't like we were super close with them, but that sucked too, that we didn't have this community that was, having our back.
I think
and when you get canceled too on social media, people get scared. Like, other creators get scared.
You can't
because
associate with
they
them.
don't want to go down with the ship.
I don't blame them.
They jump off, and they're getting as far away as they can from you because they don't want to get any bit of that hate, because it's
their
very
livelihood.
traumatizing. Yeah, and it's their business too.
It was an incredibly lonely time, and from that point on, I was honestly really scared to engage with anyone because I was like, what if they know about this? What if they think... It was just an incredibly shameful situation and incredibly isolating.
Yeah.
And it still honestly is like a page in our career or in my life, honestly, that is very like unhealed. Like, it's a wound that's like left open still.
I remember when we got back to... We just went to Hawaii for a month, and I remember we were there, when we arrived... I think you kind of had all the... I don't know if PTSD is the right word, but almost like...
Well, I've never been diagnosed, so I don't think we can use that term.
We can't use that term because Abby has not been diagnosed, but you did get like this like fear, I think.
I feel like this is so over dramatic. I can't explain. Maybe I'm just a dramatic person.
No, it's okay. It's like your emotions and your feelings are totally valid, but you felt that way arriving back, and it was hard too, because like at the same time I didn't feel that to the level that you felt that. Like, I was excited to be back in Hawaii, but part of me, like, I knew like this is where we got canceled, and this is like where stuff went down, and so
perhaps this whole situation is why hate comments now don't affect me.
Really?
Maybe it's like because the worst thing, it felt like the worst thing that could happen happened. Maybe now I'm like, oh, that's nothing. Maybe it made me. Maybe what didn't kill me made me stronger.
Well, I definitely that didn't happen for me though, because I got some hate at the tail end of 2022, and I kind of entered a dark place for a little bit. It was really scary.
Yeah. So fast forward
to 2022
Matt's cancellation. In December of this past year.
Yeah.
So do you want me to kind of explain?
Well, I can start. Okay. So we, like I said before, we get hate all the time, every day. There's mean comments that come in every single day.
No one's above it.
We just ignore them. But a common comment that I kept seeing on videos that I would make, or say I'm doing the dishes, or I'm picking up the house, or I'm taking care of Griffin, I kept seeing these comments. It wasn't a ton, but it was enough to piss me off, because there were comments like, why isn't Abby doing anything for her baby? Why isn't Abby picking up the house? Why isn't Abby doing this?
You know what's weird is that none of that bothered me.
It bothered me a lot.
That's
because
sweet.
I'm like, Abby does more around the house and for my baby than I do. And so I don't want people...
Now you're about to get canceled again for saying that.
Okay.
That's why I was so scared to do this episode. I'm like, now people are going to just re-cancel us again, and they see our wounds, and they're just going to stomp on them.
Well, that's just...
Which I think is going to happen.
Oh, my goodness.
I trust you guys, so please don't.
That's the thing, though, is like, Abby is a breastfeeding mother, and for a dad to try... Like, when you're breastfeeding, that's 40 hours a week that you're spending breastfeeding. We did the math, okay? It's a lot of time. And for a dad, even a very involved dad like myself, to try to match that amount of hours, like... It's hard because you're just naturally feeding
and the only time I want to spend with my kid, I don't want to just be breastfeeding too. So it's like, naturally, I'm going to be spending more time with him.
And so I'm like, here, like, I spend a ton of time with my son, but my wife spends more, and people are defaming her character, saying that she is isn't doing enough, that she's never doing anything. And the reality is I'm very passionate about social media and creating video. I love storytelling. I've loved making videos ever since I was 12. I had a surgery when I was 12 in my back because I had a tumor on my spine, and it kept me from doing theater for a little bit. I was like bedridden, and that's when I picked up like my love for creating video. And so that's why like a lot of times you'll see me, I'm the one that holds the vlog camera in the YouTube videos. I'm the one doing most of the voiceovers on our TikToks. Oh my gosh, are you okay? Are you choking?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you all right? But it's my passion. And so like when I vlog my life, naturally my son is a big part of my life. And people in these videos were just like, some people were, assuming that I did way more for Griffin than Abby.
Well, because that's what they were seeing more of.
That's what they were seeing on camera, and it was pissing me off. And so I made this video where, Abby was gone. I forget where you were, but I was just
at the gym.
I was just picking up the house, right? And our house was very messy, and we work as a team. Like we do things together a lot of times.
Like today, we cleaned the house together.
We cleaned the house together today, and at that time, just that stage that we were in, I was doing a lot more of the work on our videos. Like I enjoy editing.
I don't know how to edit worth a crap.
I enjoy editing.
I don't do any of that stuff.
I don't like cleaning. Abby doesn't like editing. So because our job is social media, I do a lot more of the editing, and Abby does more of the cleaning than I do.
I'll be honest, sometimes I don't even like social media at all.
And that's okay.
Actually, probably 95% of the time.
And so anyway, so
Matt does more of that. All that to say, you do more of that, and that is our business.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, I'm picking up the house, and I'm like, ooh, I should make a video where it's like, even though I'm picking up the house and I'm taking care of Griffin, I should make a video about how Abby does more than I do in that regard.
Your intention and your heart behind that TikTok was to lift up your wife.
Yeah.
Yet in turn, you literally dug your own grave.
I dug my own grave, and it was horrible. I mean, the backlash was insane. We made the mistake of not taking off duets and stitches off of our TikToks.
It was mostly the stitches that really got us.
Because on TikTok, look, people are scrolling on their For You page. And so if you don't provide a strong enough hook in the first like 3 seconds of the video, people are gone. They're not going to watch your video. And so most TikTokers provide a pretty strong hook in the beginning.
Just share your hook quote.
And oh my gosh, my hook sounds so bad. Looking back, I'm like, wow, that was so stupid. But like the hook that I made was, don't be fooled by me taking care of my son, because most of the time my wife does that. That was my hook for the video.
Yeah,
and
which honestly doesn't represent you well at all.
Really, and honestly, that's
and it's not even truthful.
That really honestly isn't truthful. I really did.
You were up with for instance, Matt was up with Griffin last night from 2:30 a.m. to 5:30 a.m.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was like a 3-hour stretch.
That was all Matt.
I wake up with Griffin in the night.
I didn't get out of bed.
I'm the one that puts Griffin down for naps. I sing to him when he falls asleep.
Basically, all to say is that we co-parent.
Yes.
But we're married. Is that still called co-parenting if we're married?
We're a team.
We are a team in every aspect, and from business to home.
Yeah, and because we're a team, if one of us is ever watching Griffin alone, we call it Griffin duty. So if I'm gone, Abby's on Griffin duty because she's the only person watching Griffin. It's no longer a team effort. She's watching him by herself.
I'm always a mom. You're always a dad.
Yes.
But when our son is one of our sole responsibility, that's what we call it.
So Abby was gone, so I was on Griffin duty because we were not parenting as a team. And I mentioned that in the video. People were wrecking me for that. And like people just really came for me, and it got really bad.
Yeah, there was like stitches that had over 1 million likes.
And it was here's the deal. I could have been more proactive and probably like removed comments. Maybe I could have even deleted the video.
We didn't even really know what was going on for a while.
Because it was Christmas time. We were enjoying time with our family. We were kind of staying off social media. I wasn't aware of how bad it got. And once I saw how bad it got, there was no going back.
Here's how I knew how bad it got. People were starting to reach out.
People were texting
my sister-in-law, some of my friends from college, other people that create content were texting me, and I was like, yeah, this is getting probably bad. I did not even see a fraction of the stitches because as soon as I saw the hate, I was like, for me, I'm like, I don't want to consume that. Like, yeah. I don't need that. And I know that because it was about you, that I would get super claws out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Protect, guard dog. And that's kind of what happened when I made we call it the sassy TikTok I made a sassy response back because
we literally titled the video "Sassy Response."
Sassy response
in our documents on our computer.
Yeah, because the thing is like it was different from the Hawaii experience because this was literally so stupid,
And it
because
was,
you are such an excellent husband, you are such an excellent dad. For anyone to say anything different, it's just they clearly don't know you. And so that's why it was like so stupid.
yeah,
I didn't take it seriously. While I'm sure it hurt your
yeah,
feelings, everyone in your life is like, this is the most ignorant thing that could happen, the most unfounded claims about you.
yeah.
So while it was horrible, the hate you were getting, it was like, this is so not real.
Yeah.
Like,
It just sucked to get on TikTok, and like the second I get on TikTok, it'd be a video about me.
yeah, that
And
sucks.
someone just like roasting me, like video after video roasting me. And it just like, it sucked because I became like a virtual punching bag. And
For all men, I think that there was so much anger that people had
yeah,
about their own husband and their own, like, I don't know, if they were a single mother without.
yeah.
There was just so much misplaced anger that
And-
got thrown on you.
Well, it really became a trend to stitch the video, to stitch my "don't be fooled by me taking care of my son" because my wife does that most of the time. I forget, yeah, whatever the line was. People would clip that and not watch any more of the video, and then just
Which,
roast me.
I'm sorry, what kind of bum dad would even admit that?
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? That
Yeah.
should be their first clue that, okay, wait, maybe I need to look a little bit deeper
how
into
did
this.
nobody like me, you? We also have an editor that works for us as well, like. Because there's so much editing. Like, I edit like 40 hours a week, but then we have another editor like editing 40 hours a week. Like, how did no one catch that? Like, we totally, like, this video.
I think I was just like, it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I saw the video before it got posted.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or no, you know what? I think I saw it and you were like pretty much praising me the whole time.
Yeah,
And I was like, you're so sweet. I think it takes someone twisting the narrative to, I don't know, make it seem bad.
Yeah, it definitely it was a crappy time, and I think what really started to hurt my feelings too was seeing like friends of ours make videos about it as well. Like we have, I don't know, no one that like we're directly friends with made a video,
A hate video. No,
but
no,
like
no.
I saw mutuals of ours on TikTok, people that we follow and they follow us, and we thought we were friends. We thought we were cool. I saw them commenting
Because
like really.
mutuals come up top on the
You can
comments.
see mutuals at the top. So I was seeing all these mutuals commenting about me and just like wrecking my life, and I'm like, wow,
Wait, I
like
thought we were
cool. Like, do you seriously like do you really believe that about me? Like that really hurts my feelings, and that sucked.
I think for me, I am. Okay, wow, this is really gonna just sound arrogant of me. But something about me, I'm like a ride or die for people, and like I think you know that. Like,
No, you are. Yeah, you
I'm
still are.
still like that's just I'm loyal, and so you would never. It's shocking to me that someone that could message us privately, acting like our friend, could then publicly comment. Keep in mind, none of these people had ever privately reached out, even though they had our phone number. They
Yeah.
had our, or they could privately message us because we have the settings where it's like if you're mutual friends on the platform, then they could send you a
Yeah.
private message or say like, I saw this concerning video. Like, I really hope you're stepping up as no, nothing at all like that. It was the public comment, and that's just because
Yeah,
it's their own ego.
And there was a particular creator. I'm not gonna say who it was because I don't want to like, I don't know. I don't want to start anything.
No, you're gonna say it, and then people are gonna try to find.
I'm not
them.
going to say who it was, okay? But there was one particular creator that just like roasted my life in this TikTok they made, and it was a friend of one of our friends. I'm like, they know that we have mutual friends. Like,
Well,
why?
it was a friend of one of our friends, but more importantly,
You were a fan of them.
major fan.
Abby was a major fan of them, I was like, you're kidding. Like this girl that we thought was so cool and so nice saw an opportunity for views and decided to just go off.
And get this, other mutuals that we know commenting on her video.
Yep.
And not a defending way to you.
No.
So I think that is literally like, it has given me a jaded perspective of social media in general.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like, this is all fake
Yeah.
in a way, which it's not. There are so many genuinely amazing people and amazing genuine friends we have that make social media video. I know their videos are real, but I think it's what made me feel like in general, this is fake.
Yeah.
And this is so shallow.
You know what was so interesting though about the video is we didn't get hate really on any other platform. Like it was just isolated to TikTok. Again, just like our first cancellation on Instagram, this one was just on TikTok. Our YouTube Shorts viewers, like they understood the message. They're like,
Exact
like
same video too.
it was the same exact video, nothing different about the video, but our YouTube Shorts viewers understood. They understood that I was recognizing Abby and recognizing the role that she plays in our relationship, and that we work as a team. We take on different roles in this team that we're on. And so that was so interesting that the same video got a completely different response on TikTok than it did on Facebook, on YouTube. We didn't post it on Instagram because after we were about to, and I was like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't.
Heck no.
Yeah, because after we got the hate, but yeah, that was really fascinating.
Yeah. That whole experience I feel like has since marked our TikTok account as
no, there's like
a target.
Yeah, there's a small community of people on TikTok now that just, I feel like no matter what we post, they just want to rip us to shreds.
Dude, someone that's like married to one of the Try Guys made a massive video that was stitching it. And I feel like that video, because it blew up so much, I think a bunch of her followers or people that saw the video ended up following us to be a hate follow.
Yes.
And now we are at their mercy.
Wait, was that the video about how a surprise isn't picking up the house, a surprise is taking your family to Disney World? Is that the hate video? Which,
I mean, maybe if you're incredibly wealthy and in what situation can there not be small and large surprises?
People in relationships divide roles in a relationship, and so say your thing that you do is unloading the dishwasher, and then your partner ends up unloading the dishwasher without you knowing. That's a surprise. That really means a lot when your partner does something that you typically do just to show you their love. Like,
I could do something so small and like expect you to be surprised by it.
And it's about love languages too. It's like, is your love language acts of service?
My love language is acts of service.
Yes. Is your love language gifts? I mean, it really comes down to that. And so that's why I was like, man, like, people really
honestly,
are just...
your love language is making food for you.
I love food, dude.
Yeah.
You do such a good job making food.
But then I was in trouble because that was somehow like a terrible traditional role that I, as the wife, was making my husband food.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, like I said in that video that I got so much hate on, that we take on traditional roles in our marriage.
You know what's weird?
Which, like, really, I would say a very extremely modern version of a traditional marriage.
Honestly, yeah. I mean,
because like I do more of our business stuff than you do, but at the same time, like, I wake up every single time Griffin wakes up in the night. I put him down for bed. Like,
I would hardly call it honestly even traditional anymore.
That's true.
Because
that's true.
Like, anyone that spends any stretch of time with us, like, we really are fluid in our roles.
Yeah.
And yeah. But it's weird because now, like, I go on TikTok and the video will be like, what I made my husband for dinner.
Oh,
and then all the comments will be like, does he ever make you dinner? Oh. And, like, people are, I'm like, that's just our culture right now. Like, we are literally living in a man-hating culture. And as a mother to a son, that makes my heart really sad. Like, I would hope that my son, watch me freaking.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. You got this.
I need to stop.
You got this. We can't do pop.
I'm not cut out for this.
Oh my god.
I would hope that my son could grow up and there could be males and females uplifting him and rooting him on and not hating him for his gender or you know, thinking a certain way about him because he's a man. I don't know. That's just I told Matt when I was like feeling really spunky about this whole topic, I was like, I really want to make a story and I want to make it just say, I can't wait for us as a culture to grow up and stop hating on our men. Like, if you want to see men step up, give them room to step up. I don't know, but Matt's not the person to be. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And so
thank you. It
was just the most outrageous thing. And that type of hate was honestly laughable because it's so not true. But I know it was hurtful too.
Yeah, it was weird. I was almost like mad at myself for like how much I let it affect me. It really ruined, especially TikTok for me for a long time. Like we didn't. It
kind of ruined Christmas in a way.
Christmas sucked. Because I was just down.
Hey, Christmas didn't suck.
I mean, it was just, I was really down, honey. Like I was really, really down. And I
feel like you kept a lot of that in.
I did. Yeah. I need to be better about like opening up more and like explaining how I feel when I'm down.
Can we talk about, I've never seen you cry.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really cry very much. But I filmed like 7 response videos to that video. I really wanted to say something, but then I don't know. I couldn't get the words right, and then we just
Social media
decided,
does not respond well if people
and because people
respond to hate.
people were painting Abby as a victim. So like Abby was like, I want to make this video because like
Yeah. I don't regret that video.
It makes way more sense for me to make it. Yeah.
I don't regret that video because people were like literally making me seem like such a, yeah, like you said, like a victim
Yeah.
of a terrible husband. I'm like, that I am not. And
Yeah.
that's honestly ridiculous. So I made a video. I normally, when we get hate, it's just like,
Yeah.
we don't say anything. We don't respond to it because we don't want to bring light to negativity. That's
Yep.
not what our platform's about. We want to build our platform on positivity. And there's so many incredibly nice people. Also, I think about this fact all the time. Shout out to the silent followers. Honestly,
Yes.
all of you. Like,
Yes.
I know if you're a silent follower, just like know that I'm so thankful for you because not because I don't want you to like or comment or anything like that, but like that is how I am with so many people. I'm like, I've realized I am such a dedicated fan and follower to many people that I've never once DM'd or commented anything public for.
Oh yeah. I never comment on
Yet
people's
I'm
videos.
rooting them on.
Yes.
I am like I'm a cheerleader for them.
Yeah.
Yet they would never know it. And so thank you to you guys
Yeah.
because I know you're there and you don't have to comment anything. Just know that I'm thankful for you. And I know that your presence makes a difference in, building our community and making us feel encouraged.
You guys are the absolute best. It's amazing, like you saying that right now. I'm also a viewer. I like never comment or DM or really interact. I probably should more. But I view content and I never like say something, especially if there's negativity about somebody and I'm like, this is stupid, but I don't say anything. Like you don't want to get like people after you now. You don't want to get into like a comment war with somebody because then it ruins your day. Then you start having a bad day that you got into a comment war in someone's comments because you were trying to defend a creator that you like.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Yeah. So
it gets so stupid.
I mean, all that to say, like the people that we never expected people to publicly comment whenever we were going down. We don't want them to go down with the ship with us.
And thank you to all the friends that like reached out to us during that time too, because it really means a lot. Like when you're getting hated on social media, it really means so much when other creators reach out to you, check on you, see how you're doing.
To bring you back down to earth and just let you know that like not everyone believes this lie about you and that you are loved, and that it means so much. And I kind of wanted to go back to us talking about the Hawaii cancellation. I shouldn't say Hawaii. I should just say aloha, dudes.
Real quick, can we just talk about how the search, like this whole new TikTok search, I think affected the cancellation in 2022?
This TikTok search bar is problematic.
Because then on the video, what happened is like it was like Matt and Abby canceled, Matt and Abby conflict, Matt and Abby
controversy, Matt and Abby drama.
So like now that there's a search bar on TikTok, it just spews all this drama. And really, it's so smart by TikTok as a company because it gets people on the app longer.
TikTok such a more negative platform.
It gets so negative.
And there were literally drama channels being like the drama with Matt and Abby. I'm like,
did you watch those?
Drama? No.
I never watched a single one.
I just scrolled past if I saw them because I was like, what freaking drama?
I watched a couple of the videos and they really hurt my feelings, so I just stopped because it just hurt too much.
The TikTok search bar is so problematic because any given video you look at, it'll have that creator's name and controversy or drama next to it.
So common.
And it's just made the app such a negative, dark place, honestly.
Yeah. Which I think from the app's perspective, it makes sense. It keeps people on the app longer. People want to know about the controversy of all these creators.
It does interest me, I'm not going to lie.
But I think long term it's a bad play for TikTok because then it's going to spew more negativity towards social media and people are going to be like, I don't feel full when I leave the app.
Well, it's going to also discourage people from creating on the platform because it's scary, you know, to be at the mercy of so many like hateful viewers.
Yeah.
And all that to say, I don't want this episode to just seem so negative or like a pity party, like I've said. Like, I feel really thankful, and there's been more positive than bad things that have come of it. But this is just, I feel like this podcast is, the purpose of this is to talk about things that maybe I don't feel as safe talking about elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because we can provide so much more context and so much more background to like our hearts and like our true character.
Yeah.
So
And I love that people are like listening and viewing and they're watching an hour-long episode. They're not just watching a 30-second TikTok, taking everything out of context and having a flawed view of us. I love that our viewers on the podcast, I think, have an accurate representation of who we are, I hope. And so that's really cool. You were saying something earlier about Hawaii, though, and I wanted to go back to that.
I wanted to say that, like, what really got me through that hard time, and I'll be honest, like, the months following it that we lived in Hawaii were honestly got worse for me because of personal circumstances, and then I had all those negative, horrible things still in the back of my mind, and I was like, I'm still living in this place where people don't want me. What kept me through was community.
Yeah.
And true real community, not, there's true online community.
Yeah.
But specifically in-person community. And that's really why I got so addicted to CrossFit at the time. And I think that the people that were at that gym that were like the dedicated members would have no idea the effect that they had on me and my mental health and just my sense of belonging there. I knew that I could come every morning and see them, and they'd be real people, and they'd be encouraging me, they'd be rooting me on, and that is, like, I am not a fitness girly. Like, I love to work out as a hobby, but, like, CrossFit is, I feel like, is for, like, the dedicated people, which really isn't me.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not out here, like, trying to PR.
And it was our neighbors, too, I think, that really helped. We had some really good friends. Our next-door neighbors that we did not know before moving to Hawaii just became really close friends of ours. And
well, that was my second point. Those were the two things.
Yeah.
And then it was our neighbors. Like you said, they don't... We never really posted with them or ever said anything about them, but they got me through. We shared dinners, like home-cooked dinners with them, like almost every single night there.
Yeah.
And I think no matter how horrible my day had been, like, I knew that I could unplug and go over to their house, or they could come over to our house, and we could just eat and play cards. We played so many card games. We played Cover Your Assets like every single night, Monopoly Deal, and that really kept me grounded and sane through such a hard time online.
Yeah. I think for me, at the end of 2022,
what helped you?
That forced me to get off TikTok. I was kind of off for a little bit, and off of social media for the most part. I mean, I was posting a little bit here and there, but I wasn't scrolling, I wasn't viewing. I couldn't take any more of the negativity, and that was really good. It was like I need to have more time off of social media because it can be so damaging. And then I went on a little snowboarding trip with some friends, actually with Derek Beeston, who was just on our podcast, and that was very, very fun and very refreshing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, social media can be in so many ways such a good thing. Like, I'm inspired by people all the time and encouraged and excited. I think that, there's good and bad.
It's just like real life. There's good and bad, and unfortunately, I feel like the bad is heightened on social media, and the good is heightened too. There's even though like the negativity is really bad. Like, I think there's also the same flip side with positivity. There's such a thing as too much positivity to where it's not healthy.
What do they call that?
Is it toxic positivity?
Yeah, toxic positivity.
Is that it?
Where it's like you only talk about the positive things, where it almost makes it seem like the negative things aren't real or don't exist or can't affect you.
And that's just weird. Like, as creators that want to be real with you guys, it's hard to navigate that because we don't want to just sit here and talk about all this negative crap, but we don't want to sit here and also be like so positive and overly positive that everyone's like, okay, BS, like that's not real.
It's a balance that's impossible to find.
Yeah, we're always trying to find the balance there. So Anyway, I was about to say comment if we're doing a good job of that, but then I'm like, yeah, I really actually don't. I don't know if that's like good to just get more. Like, we shouldn't ask for more feedback because we already get enough feedback from people.
Yeah,
so.
But speaking of feedback, this is the type of feedback that we
yes,
want
reviews.
to get.
We wanted
reviews
to thank you guys.
Reviews on the podcast mean a lot.
Yes, you guys leaving a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify does so much, or whichever platform you use to listen in. It really means a lot. And to our YouTube viewers, thank you for subscribing and hitting the like button.
Yeah.
It means a lot. We're gonna read some reviews now from you guys.
So shout out to Mackenzie Wagner on Instagram. It's at Mackenzie Wagner. It says, I follow Matt and Abby. Well, the title of the review is Truthful, Heartfelt Podcast.
Aww.
I follow Matt and Abby on their other social media platforms. They are two of the most genuine, kind-hearted individuals, and I commend them for starting such a vulnerable podcast. Wednesday is now my favorite day.
Aww,
so sweet.
I love that.
This one is from @AlexisStuttle03 on Instagram. I've been watching your TikToks for years now, and I love hearing more about your personal lives through this podcast. Thank you for always being so real and giving me something to look forward to on Wednesdays. So sweet. This one is so precious. This is from @ColleenDeVry2. I'm hoping I say that right. The title's Awesome Podcast, and it says, love you guys. Thanks for sharing your lives with us. I am a 62-year-old Mimi. You make me smile every day. God bless your family. And then she had her Instagram and her TikTok on there. So thank you so much, Colleen. These reviews mean so much. So if you have a minute, just leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, or also on Spotify. You can leave stars, I believe. And if you make a review, like a written review, just put your Instagram and we'd love to shout you out. We're doing like 3 every episode, so we get
love
stronger
you guys.
with each time.
We'll see you in the next episode, and as always, 3, 2, 1, peace out, dudes.